Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 674. Now, in today's episode, we're talking about why or if we need a mentor. It is really important to be able to get clear about this because, to be honest with you, I struggled for so long in getting to where I wanted to be. And there's still a load of where I want to be heading in my life, in the impact I want to be making in the world, where it'd be like adding to charities, creating charities, or to help more people, produce better content, whatever it is. I've got a ton of goals and dreams, but I wish I had a mentor far earlier than I started, because I felt lost a lot of the time. Have you ever had that experience? Like maybe there's a goal and dream that you would like to achieve. Let's just say you wanted to be able to create your own business, but you don't know how. You have a passion and purpose and you'd like to monetize it, and you don't know how. Maybe you want to be able to go up that career ladder faster than ever before, but you don't know how. Maybe you want to be an athlete. Maybe you want to be able to be in the music industry, but you don't know how. Well, we can do many things to be able to level up. And one of the biggest things that we tend to fall for is the time. We try to do it alone because we feel like it is the only option. But I'm telling you today, if you really want to succeed in your life, if you really want to be able to hit those goals bigger and better, this is what we have to do. You see, I was listening to a podcast just the other week, and it was Mr. Beast being interviewed. Now, Mr. Beast, who I didn't really know much about, I just watched a bit of his Squid Games YouTube episode because it was like so downloaded, but he's got like 91 million YouTube subscribers. Imagine that. I think he's the biggest in total, at least, I think, of the subscribers on YouTube. And he's a young kid at like 23 years old. Now, in the interview, he said that if you really want the shortcut to success, you need a mentor. You need one. Why figure out alone when someone else has done and set the path already? And when I heard that, I was like, yes, 100%. I've been doing this for so long that it has transformed my life by gaining mentors, by adding people into my life. So when he said that, look, if you want to be able to get to the success in like lightning speed, you want to be able to just have the path mapped out for you, so you don't have to figure out by yourself. You don't have to fail all the times. You don't have to spend all the money on the cost of failure, whether it be the cost of failure of time or the feeling of rejection or failure when it comes to the psychology. So we want to make sure that our unconscious mind is in gear by actually getting the right input, the right advice. So if you do have a goal and dream, it is so important for you to get a mentor. Now, let me prove this point. Now, whether you believe it to be a good thing, because I kind of question this at times based on my experience, because my experience at that time was not very good. And that experience was school. But if you think about it, if you have children and you were a child, you went to school to do what? To learn. And if you think of what a mentor is, it is to learn. It's to be able to get advice and to be able to get the answers from someone who knows the answers. So when you think about it, and there's what I was thinking about today when I was going for my run, like we've always had a form of mentorship when it comes to growth. All the time, whether it be good or bad, like mine weren't all good, but they were always there. As a society, or for most societies, it is an education system which is in a way a mentor, maybe a mentor to many, maybe 30 people in the schoolroom or whatever it is, but you had a level of having a mentor. Now, if you had a mentor back then, and that's young Sebastian barking right there, but if you had a mentor back then growing up, why did we tend to stop? You may have went to college, you may have went to university, but why did we think, well, we're just going to stop that? Because we are all about learning. One of the prime directives of your unconscious mind is to learn. It is programmed to seek out more and more knowledge and information. Now, when we're not seeking out information as quickly as we want, we start to get defeated. We start to get frustrated. And if you look at everyone in the world who is successful, and I really want you to look for the examples. If you look at the success strategies, I bet most, maybe all of the people had a mentor in some fashion. And it shows up in different ways. Now, for example, you had like Steve Jobs mentoring Mark Zuckerberg, right? It happened. They used to have conversations. You had Oprah Winfrey was, I can't remember who she was mentored by, but she said, and I wrote this part down, and it was a female who was mentoring her, she was there for me, always guiding me through some of the most important years of my life. Mentors are important. I don't think anybody makes it in the world without some form of mentorship. So think about that. Oprah, and if you know Oprah's story, went through a crazy growing up experience and probably felt lost a long time, felt hurt a long time, for a long time. But if there's someone there who can guide you to your dreams, to give you the skill set, to give you the knowledge, to give you the advice, you'll be able to up-level your career, your passion, your money, your abundance, your health, whatever it is, in the most quickest, most profound way. Now, even Christian, I don't know the names of this one, as you can tell, Christian Dior mentoring Yves Saint Laurent. Yves Saint Laurent, I believe, based on memory, was walking at this person's place. Is it Christian or Christiane? I don't know. That's how much I know about fashion, right? But even though they're in the same niche, they were being supported. Steven Spielberg mentoring J.J. Abrams, right? Same industry there. We've got also like Gandhi mentoring Nelson Mandela. Audrey Hepburn mentoring Elizabeth Taylor. I love this one because I remember it clearly because I've read the autobiography probably 5 to 10 times. Richard Branson was mentored by Freddie Laker when it comes to the airplane, setting things up with Virgin Airways. So that was a big part to maneuver the industry there. But also, that's one, but Richard Branson also had 2 fellow friends in the company who would soundboard different advice. Some were like more logical, some were more a little bit more scarcity minded, because he was so out there and he's so like kind of, let's just go ahead and do it. That level of bouncing off ideas was so important in the success. So if you have a goal, this is what you've got to do. If and only if you have a goal and dream. If you have a goal and dream, if you want to be able to go up the career ladder, if you want to be able to get the job of your dreams and desires, whether it be, for example, letting go of the imposter syndrome, right? I'm the mentor for that one. I am so unapologetic about saying that because I'll let it go. 8 weeks, we let it go. If you have any fear of failure, fear of success, fear of not being enough, fear of not being worthy, fear of not being of value, all of that stuff, easy peasy. I'll let go of the anxiety, worry, and doubt, and we'll let go all within 8 weeks. You've got to be invested, but that's exactly what I do week in, week out, day in, day out. But whatever it is, the psychology that you need, the mentality that you need, the expert advice you need, no matter what goal and dream you have, you need to be able to find someone who has had that dream, who has been there before you. That means you can travel the path which has been trodden down before you. You don't have to get lost in the jungle. You don't have to like make your own path. It is so much easier when you go about it that way. And now let me tell you about my personal experience with this. You see, my first ever real mentor was my father, Paul Clough. You see, he'd been learning hypnosis as a hobby, and I was very, very stuck in my job, which was insurance at the time. I was very unconfident. I didn't feel confident all my life. Never felt I was good enough. Never thought I was of value. Never thought I was going to make anything of myself. I was settling. I thought my issues were just meant to be my issues, if it was a reality. Now you see, one day my father saw that I was unhappy. Because he'd been practicing hypnosis, he said, go on this hypnosis course, because if you go in as many trances as you do, you might figure something out. So my intention was not even to be a hypnotist. But on the way home from that journey, I decided that this was going to be I like to think, my lifetime purpose of hopefully helping people at a conscious level and the unconscious level. You see, that's my passion, to liberate people from their pain. That's my goal, that's my dream, that's my outcome. To let go of the fear, to let go of the doubt, to let go of the scarcity, and get the life that you desire, designed the way that you want it. Now, at the time, my father was a great source of mentorship. He used to help me. I didn't always agree with it, but I used to take it on, and I used to apply the type of knowledge and information. One, because he had a level of a great business mentality. He was enjoying hypnosis, and that started off the foundation of us working together all the way to this point 2 decades later. You see, I actually pay my father to be a part of my company. So it is amazing to work so closely with my mentor, my father, Paul Clough. That to me just makes up my day. But somewhere along the line, I was doing well, but I wanted to do better. So that was an opportunity for me. Now, this was one of the most scariest opportunities that I've ever done. You see, I wanted to better myself in how I could reach more people. And that was an opportunity where I would have to find, and I mean find, $25,000. So $25,000, like 15 grand, 16 grand in pounds, roughly, whatever the exchange rate is. But I had to find it, and I did not have it. So I had to pay that 25 grand off monthly. Right? That was a big, big decision for me. But in the times of the fear of that investment, I still had that unwavering faith that it was a good decision for me. I had the faith that if I just do this thing, it's going to allow me to break free. And it was one of the best investments I ever made, because it allowed me to be surrounded by someone, and in fact, people who can support me on my journey in helping more people. It was an investment to try to help more people, an investment to give myself more security. And I did that for another year. I put down another 25,000 the following year, and I think maybe the third year, I can't remember now. But it was an amazing investment to have. A crazy cool investment, despite it being scary to me. But it was worth, because notice how I said, or have not said cost. I didn't say cost once. It's an investment. It was an investment into my ability to help more and be more me than ever before. And then the next thing I began to do, and this was less in amount, but in a one lump sum, and that was 9 grand. I just put that on a credit card and I'm going all in. 9 grand, one payment, good to go. Was I scared? Yes. Was there a little bit of doubt that it would work for me? Yes. But there was a bigger part of me wanting to go, I'm ready to learn, I'm ready to grow, I want to be able to make an impact. My dream and my goal was bigger than my fear. And that's what I want you to have. I want your passion, your purpose, your desire to let go of the imposter syndrome, your desire to let go of the anxiety, the worry, the doubt. All that stuff's got to be bigger than the fear which is shouting in our mind right now. You got to choose on what is right and what is good. When you do that, when you go all in yourself and you just let go. And like I said, this is not even about my work, because we don't take on everybody. It's an application based only. I know I say this all the time, but I'm trying to actually repel certain people because I can only work with so many people. And you've got to be really ready to match my energy. And as you can imagine, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to be able to get the results that we desire, because that is ultimately my purpose, in my opinion. So, backtracking, I was ready to go all in. And now, even to this point, I'm spending, and I adequate this into my budget, I spend $2,000 every single month, which works out, what, 24 grand a year. And I'm fine with it now. You see, when I began to level up, and even if you're not at that level yet, I mean, sure, we have credit cards, and people are, I can't put on a credit card. Well, it depends on the return, right? Never used to be, but I'm a risk taker because I've seen the rewards that it gives me. So I actually enjoy doing that now. I thrive off it because I've seen those rewards come back tenfold. So whatever your preference it is, I mean, if we're not ready to invest in things like that, I'm not here to judge. I mean, it's up to you. It depends how much we want it, right? It's just one of those things. So I don't mind spending that because what I get back is more than I can imagine. Now, how do we get mentors? Well, you've got to find someone. Let's not backtrack, Joseph. If you have a goal and dream, let's just say it's to let go of the imposter syndrome. As an example, you need a mentor who's someone who's been there and overcome it. In that case, it would be me, right? But let's just say that's not your issue. You don't experience fear. You don't experience anxiety or doubt. Then let's just say you want to be an athlete. Well, you need to be able to get a trainer, which is a mentor, to be able to get you to be an athlete. Look at every soccer player, every football player, every tennis player, every boxer, every MMA person. They all have trainers. In every industry of great success, there's always a trainer. And I believe mentors should get mentored. I believe coaches should get coaches. If you're not, then I'm kind of concerned because it says what we're stopping. But like I said, whether it be going into setting up a business, maybe you need to find someone who's great at starting businesses because you need to quicken the gap. So how do you go ahead and do it? Well, you've got to find the person who has done the work already. You've got to stand on the shoulders of giants. You've got to look for the success recipe. When you look for the success recipe of someone who's been there and done it, you don't have to fail. You don't have to keep trying. You don't have to try new things which aren't serving you. You just go straight and replicate exactly what they did. It's like a cookie cutter model of where you just follow the recipe and you get what you want. That is what we have to do. Find them. Now, let's just say you don't have money. Well, you've got to be willing to do something most of the time. Not all the time, because, for example, I wish I had a mentor, and I've said like my father was a mentor to me in many ways, but I wish I had a metaphor would help me in business, and trust me, I learned the hard way. I learned very much the hard way. And firstly, because it was a lack of investment, and I had to figure it out by myself. I had to even learn HTML, how to build websites, and when you had to use HTML and all the coding and things. I remember like Christmas Day, I was doing that once. But I was willing to do whatever it took. But if I knew what I knew now, I would have just found someone to do the work that I needed to be done. So I wish I had someone like that. So right now, I do mentor someone here and there, because I want them to grow and them to shine as well as that. I can't have many of those because that's just like I'm a busy man. Like I'm working most of the time anyway. In fact, I should actually work less technically, but I love it so much. But although that is full, then maybe there's someone out there who someone can mentor you for free. If they love what they do, then they might like to do that. But if not, you go ahead and see what you can do for them. What skill set you have that they'll get beneficial from. Because remember, the receiving of the value you get has a monetary value ultimately. It's their time. It's their expertise. For example, if someone wants to learn from me, and let's just say I've spent 20 years spending over like $150,000, $250,000, and then I just give it away for free for everyone, that person won't value it. So sometimes you've got to do something for that person, whether it be monetary or not. Maybe it's doing charity work. Maybe it's if you've got a skill set, we can help them. Sometimes you can do that. But of course, the quickest, most powerful way is to be able to just pay them what they're worth, because your dreams are worth it. You want to be able to get to the level and the place that you want to be, not in a decade, but within a year, 6 months. If it's the imposter syndrome, in 8 weeks, even if you had it for all your life, which the chances are people have. You want to be able to invest in yourself. And look, if you say you got no money, well, now it's time to save that money if that's the case. If we're spending like $1,000 on one of these, and I'm for the audio podcast, I'm lifting up my phone here, it's like $1,000 these days. Then we got to really, is that giving us the value of what it is to be emotionally free, to wake up with power and joy and excitement each and every day? That's a choice that we all have. Every dinner out, every bit of alcohol we buy, every luxury item, whether it be Netflix, all those things, it's a choice that we make day to day that we could be investing in ourselves. And I'm not here to tell you to do that, but I'm telling you to wake up to what we are doing. Because if we're not getting the results that we want, if we're not becoming the person we deserve and desire to be, then we got to look within ourselves and realize, what are we doing to get there? Yes, we can go the free road. Yes, and that's why I produced 674 episodes all for free, which is over 300 hours of free content that you can download. Like, I'm at peace with that. I want to help people. But also realize, if you want to speed up the process, if you want that quickening, you want to be able to go all in on something. So whether we save it, whether we get help from our family, is like, once I was speaking to someone and it was almost like they were gonna say it's for the next 10 birthdays because it meant so much to them. Like, don't buy me a birthday present for the next 10 times if you can help me out with this. I mean, that was the passion. That's the resourcefulness we need if we're going to live the life that we want. And it is a hard truth, so I'm not trying to say, oh, this is easy, and you might not like it. I might be pushing up against your values, and to be honest, I'm at peace with that as well. I'm at peace with that, because I'm not here to make you feel amazing all the time if on the inside you're hurting, if on the inside you are in pain. Yes, I want you to carry on. I want you to grow. I want you to shine. If it is for free, go ahead and get it for free. But if you're not quite there yet, do whatever it takes. It's exciting. Think about it as investing, like you're investing in a business. You are the business. You are the business. You are the stock, the value. How much are we pricing ourselves on a stock? Is it like a penny? Or are you one of the highest stocks in the world? Because you are you, and you should deserve that. So start to invest in yourself by getting people who can support you. Not me. In all cases. Some cases, like I said, imposter syndrome, fear of failure, all that kind of stuff we said already. Don't have to say it again. But whatever it is, invest in yourself more than anything else. For when you do, life will never be the same again. I mean, if we look at about it these days, people are going to college and spending like $200,000 to level up their mindset, right? Does it always work? Not all the time. But ultimately, that is an investment, hopefully. So we got to really see that, yeah, but what about our own psychology, our own emotional well-being? Where, like, if we're suffering from something physical. Here's another example. My ex-partner, Melissa, really damaged the wrist, and it was one of those, like, ultimately bones taken out. It was going to be horrible. Probably couldn't do yoga ever again. That was the diagnosis. We decided to do whatever it took. We invested. We found someone who was like, I'm gonna get this wrong, but it was like the LA Lakers hand wrist specialist surgeon person. Went to see him. In fact, side story, I saw there the Red Hot Chili Peppers person. I don't even know his name, but he was there. And it was like this crazy cool facility because it's for athletes, it's for band people. Like, we had just did whatever it took. And then past that, we went to treatment by a specialist so her wrist could be bent the way it was wanted to be bent for yoga. And we did it because it was worth it for her. It was her passion, and it was one thing that we really wanted to make sure. So we got the best to get that success. So let's just say you're physically experiencing something where you want to be able to work with someone who's the best at that. That's all I'm really saying here. Treat yourself like a business. Treat yourself like a stock where you're investing in yourself. Why? Because the returns come back to you. It is not a cost. This is your willingness to transform, your resourcefulness to decide on what is right. And of course, if you ever need help with that, but only if you're invested. Like I said, if it's something else, don't apply, right? Because I only work with a particular kind of person, career person, professional person, someone wants to up-level their game whatever it is, when it comes to the psychology of success, to let go of the limiting beliefs of not being worthy, deserving, and the fear of being found out, fear of not being enough, all of those things, you can go to josephclough.info/talk. There you go ahead and apply. You book a call with us, you fill out the form, the application form, so we can be prepared for the call, and then we'll go ahead and get clear on quite a few things. On that call, you'll get clear on what you want to let go of, what you actually want to achieve. We get clear on the unconscious blocks, and then we're going to come up with steps to make it a reality, which would be our program. 8 weeks, the problem disappears. That's what we do. josephclough.info/talk, and that just means that you are able to live the life that you want emotionally free. But once again, it's only for people ready to be fully invested in their development. But as I said, two things here. If that's not your issue and you have other goals and aspirations, then once again, the theory of applying and finding a mentor is the exact same thing. If you want to be a YouTuber, find a YouTuber who's successful who can teach you that. If you want to be better at playing a guitar, which would definitely not be me, go ahead and find someone who is great at playing the guitar and be mentored by them. It's the only way, or the quickest only way, to get the success. Don't go alone. Get the support that you need in every single way. Now, of course, if you're not there yet, a form of mentorship is a level of freeness. And like I said, that is why we go ahead and produce these free content. I like to think of it as my way of paying forward. I've always wanted to help people. We've had over 12 million downloads on the podcast and the app. freehypnosis.app, just get it all there. Create custom hypnosis tracks. In a way, it's a form of mentorship. If you're not able to invest yet and you got to save up, just use all the free stuff. Just get so informed in the mind that when you're at that level, you are ready to go all in. That's what you gotta do. And of course, if you enjoy the app, please go ahead and leave a review so you can actually be a part of the journey of someone else's change. Now, for those who are listening live and on the podcast, there's what we do live. We're about to do a book giveaway. So if you want to be a part of these live streams and potentially win a signed copy of my book, Be Your Potential, I got like 10 copies so far. I want to keep one for myself because I didn't own one for like a decade, but now I have got one. So I'm going to keep one for myself, but go to youtube.com/Joseph Clough, C-L-O-U-G-H, Joseph Clough, youtube.com/Joseph Clough, and go ahead and subscribe and like the videos, put a thumbs up, and you'll be in a chance to be able to do and win those. And speak to me live as well. It's always good to meet you on these live streams. We go live Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, okay? So with that, I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Always, always, always know that you are ready to be the person when you start to go all in on something. So let's go and do the work. Let's just make things happen, right? You ready? Let's go ahead and make it happen right here, right now. Many thanks and goodbye.